Hello everyone. Let's start a new topic, understanding of virtual DOM, reconciliation and diffing algorithm in React. So just knowing about the virtual DOM, like DOM is a document object model. For knowing the virtual DOM, we must know about the real DOM also. So I'm just going to tell you about the what is real DOM first of all. So as everyone know, like we have the HTML file. Suppose we have HTML file, right? So in HTML file, like which has the extension as .html, that one, it has an HTML tag, and inside that there is a head tag, and then there is a body tag, then script tag is there, right? So such type of things are there, right? So whenever uh, now think it as a, let's talk about the real DOM, and let's think at it as a tree like a structure. Okay, so you must know about the real dome that it is just nothing, just only a tree like a structure. As right now told you that HTML, then there is a header tag, then there is a body tag, then script tag is there, and inside the body we have lots of different elements and tags present, right? So think it as a head node. This is suppose it is a head node, and here it is the HTML. HTML, like because in HTML file also we can see that HTML is the topmost or the downmost tag, like in which each and every tag is enclosed. So here also we are taking the head as HTML, and inside that think at it as a body, and think it as a head. In head also we have different tags, like link is there, meta tags are there, some other tags are also there. And in body tag, suppose p tag, h1 tag, div tag, span, and lots of so many tags. So whenever we create one HTML file, that time what's happened, whenever we run our HTML file, it goes to browser, and when it go to browser, it start creating a real DOM. It start creating a DOM like a structure. DOM like a structure means tree like a structure. HTML at top, and then it divide according to the tags, and then subtags, and all the tags combine in a particular node, and that dome, I mean those all the tags start creating a dome like a structure, which is nothing, just like this, whatever told you, like this much full. So this is a dome like a structure. So this is the dome, and we can call it as a real dome also, right? But when it come to the React, so React, because React wants to be an optimized version, so that's why it create a self-made dome, which is known as a virtual dome. It created itself, like it create its own dome, I can say, okay, which is a virtual dome, VDOM. VDOM is nothing, just keep the copy of the real dome, keep the copy of the real dome, and whatever we make any changes in React, so firstly it make the change in the virtual dome, then it make change to the real dome. Okay, so this is the thing. So let's again come here, and there is a process reconciliation. Reconciliation is the something whenever we make any changes in the React project, it start making changes in the virtual DOM, and then virtual DOM start making changes to the real DOM, and the process whatever is taken by the virtual DOM to the real DOM, that process is known as a reconciliation. And reconciliation user algorithm for making this process, like suppose we wants to do the sliding window process, right? We need to create the substrings, so we go with the one process, but that process take the algorithm which is known as the sliding window, right? So same here, reconciliation is a process which is taking the algorithm which is known as a diffing algorithm. Diffing algorithm, what it does, it firstly it check the difference in the virtual DOM and the real DOM, and then it start making changes, and start the process of reconciliation, means start updating the things, which is known as the batching, I will tell you later. Okay, then start making changes in the real DOM. So this is the process which take the diffing algorithm. Yeah. Now What are the topics we are going to cover here? So the topics, first of all, we as right now I told you about the virtual dome. I right now I explain you very deeply about the real dome, that how real dome creates and how time it is consumed, how much time it is consuming for creating the things, right? And also later on we will see that why we should use the V dome in real. And then there will be a difference between the virtual dome and the real dome, and then we will know about the how React update the do, and there will be some questions after that. Then we will go back on the reconciliation in React and its process. And there is a one important topic, role of keys in list. I will tell you about this also, just with the video. And there will be practice question about the reconciliation. So now let's talk about the virtual dome. Like, what is the virtual dome? Virtual dome is an in-memory representation of real dome. As right now I told you, like this is the dome, right? I created this dome. So this is the real dome. Virtual dome is the nothing but the in-memory representation of real dome. In memory representation of real dome means it carry the copy of the real dome. Okay. And then in React we use a JavaScript object to track the changes in UI. I just want to give you one example here, that how why we are using the JavaScript object and how it takes the JavaScript object. Suppose you need to find something like this. Like whenever we solve any DSA question, we have this array and we created our self object, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is there. So whenever we come here, we keep the track of it. Like one is there on one time or either on this index. So object is something which is used for this, so that we can take the reference of all the things. Like this is the real dome, right? But in one object, sorry, in object like structure, we can keep everything. Like HTML is there, so we can keep the HTML also. Like we are keeping its reference, then body tags reference, then head tags reference, then p tags reference. So that's how we are creating one object in which we are keeping a full real dom. Okay. So that's why React uses JavaScript object to track changes in the UI. Now, what is the purpose of using the virtual DOM? So, virtual DOM, it is minimize the direct manipulation of DOM. Like, I just want to tell you one more thing. Suppose we have an HTML file, right? We have HTML file here. Okay, and whenever we created one file, and whenever we move it to the client side or means browser, so it start recreating, right? You must know about the re-rendering and not re-rendering, updating the particular state. Like as in React, it is very useful that whatever we make the particular change, so it will only update particular change. But in HTML, it re-render full file. Like means what will happen? We created this real DOM, but whenever we refresh it or re-render it, so it will again recreate this real DOM, right? It start again creating the firstly head node will come, then other node, then other node, then other node. So it will take lots of time. But virtual DOM, what it does, it is keeping one. We can say that copy of in itself of real DOM, and then it compare the changes and then make direct manipulation on DOM. Means it make the direct change to the real DOM. It will not recreate the DOM. It will only make the change to the DOM. So that's how it is very optimized way or minimize. It is also minimizing the time. Like virtual DOM take very less time for updating the particular thing, but the real DOM, when because it is start creating from starting to end again and again, so that's just because of this it takes lots of time. But the virtual DOM, it is making the changes on real DOM only, so only making changes either one node or the two node, not creating full tree again and again. So that's why it is very minimize it is minimizing the time. and also it is very optimized. Now, update real DOM only after calculation minimal change. As I told you, that firstly it calculates the minimal change, whatever the changes is done. Suppose one paragraph is only changed. So it will only make change in that particular paragraph tag. It will not make or any updation in another thing. Right? So that's how virtual DOM is very useful and very optimized version of rendering. Now, why use VDOM? As right now I told you some advantages of virtual DOM, but there are some other also. Like real DOM is slow because it involves heavy browser re-rendering because it re-render again and again whenever we refresh or load the file. And React approach, batching update, diffing algorithm, or selective update. Selective update means if paragraph is only changed, it will only make the change to the paragraph. Batching update means if one particular div and its element is only changed, so it will only recreate that particular div or that particular node only, right? So that's how batching update and diffing algorithm come into the pictures in React, which is very useful for making the rendering very fast on browser, result in better performance and efficiency. Now, now I just want to tell you some difference between virtual DOM and real DOM, right? So first of all, let's talk about the nature. So virtual DOM is a lightweighted JS object. It is an object only. It is not a, I can say the tree like a structure, but it is a one type of object. But the real DOM is a tree like a structure. Okay. Actual browser rendered DOM, document object model. Okay. Now let's talk about its speed. So virtual DOM is a fast for comparison, but the real DOM slower due to re-rendering task. Now usage efficient UI rendering, real DOM directly render UI, right? So this is some basic difference between virtual DOM and real DOM. Now, how React update the DOM? So React, like whenever suppose any state or prop has changed, like we have one component, suppose we have one component and we are making, suppose a counter app is here, and in each second the number is increasing, 1, 2, 3, 4, that's how, right? So it is only making the particular changes in state. So what it will do, like there will be a paragraph or a div element, div tag, in which that state will be showing on the UI. So it will only go to that particular thing, a particular state, and it will make changes in that particular state only. And suppose there is a one component in which prop is changing, so that time it will not recreate full react project again, or it will not re-render full react project again. It will only make the change that particular component in which prop is passing. So whenever state or prop has will be changed, only that particular, we can say particular part, will be update in the virtual DOM and in the real DOM also. React re-render virtual DOM. It only re-render the virtual DOM. Okay. It will not re-rendering the real DOM. Now, diffing algorithm. What diffing algorithm do? Diffing algorithm is very useful for comparing virtual DOM and real DOM. Means it check what are the basic difference or what are the differences between both of them, so that it by this virtual DOM can make changes in the real DOM. Reconciliation, calculate minimal required changes. Right. So this is a one type of process which calculate this thing. Now apply changes to the real DOM efficient. So that's how React update the DOM, right? Just by the making particular changes, by comparing, by diffing algorithm, by reconciliation. So these are some terms and some processes which is given by the React, which is very useful for updating the real DOM. Now, there are some practice questions about the virtual DOM. So what is virtual DOM and how does it work? It is a JS object that represent real DOM. React compare old versus new VDOM and apply minimal change to the real DOM updates. Now, why React is faster? Because virtual DOM avoid direct heavy DOM manipulation, because it It do not recreate the full dome again and again. Just because of this, React is faster. Now, a step during component state change. So it re-render, it go to the diffing algorithm, it reconcile the thing, and then update the DOM. So that's how some basic steps present during making the state change or any prop change or component change. Now, how React update the DOM? As right now we learn about this, let's go on the reconciliation process. Like, what is the reconciliation? So React decide what and where to update the DOM. So React is always make the decision that what is going to be changed and where we need to update. So this is the process which check this thing, like what are the changes and where is the changes so that I can update. And reconciliation use the diffing algorithm to compare old versus new virtual DOM. It take this algorithm for doing its process, I can say. Now, applies only required update, improve speed. So it will only make the changes in that particular thing, and that's how it improves the speed. Actually, again and again, I'm saying the same thing, but this is the word from where we can keep the things very clear. Like applies only required update and improve speed. Yeah. Now let's know about the diffing algorithm. Its in introduction and its efficiency also. So React use this determine minimal DOM update, compare VDOM tree, old versus new, and avoid re-rendering entire UI, saving time. So diffing algorithm is very useful for saving the time. Now, what is the time complexity of the diffing algorithm? So diffing algorithm takes the order of n time because whatever the object size will be there, it will it go like diffing algorithm do check by linear search and then make it compares, and then just because of this it is taking a order of n time complexity. Uses shallow comparison to detect the changes only change at same level are compared first. So means it only make the changes to the same level are compared first, means whatever we compared the first time it will make the changes to that. Now, what is heuristic in diffing? So diffing, like there is a thing involved in the diffing, that how it make changes in the elements. So there can be element by element comparison, means one element is comparing by another para tags or h tag. Suppose earlier we had a div tag. Let's go here. Suppose we have a HTML file and something something and some bodies tag is there, and inside the body tag we have a div tag, right? But now when we made the change, this div tag changed by the p tag. Now we need to keep the p tag instead of this div tag. So that's how I can say that diffing algorithm check for the element by element comparison also. If element type change, like suppose div is changed with para tag, so it will suppose this is a node in which div tag is present, so it will recreate that particular node only. Okay, it will recreate that particular node only. Update only change part like text or prop. But suppose here it is not changing by the para. Suppose here it is hello is mentioned. Now after change we need to keep it as hey. So it will not recreate the node. Like there is a node now. So earlier it removes this, like whenever we need to make the changes by element. So it will remove this node from here and it create a new node and put here. But whenever we need to make the state or prop change, means data needs to change. So div will be there, the node will be there, only data will change. Like whatever this hello is mentioned here, so hello will go out and hey will come here. So that's how thing will work, right? So element by element comparison. If element type is changed, so it will recreate that particular node. Update only change part like text or prop. Handle child component recursively. right? So it also use the process which is called recursion because it is a tree. So it needs to go on. See, it is a tree, and tree should be go on every node. So suppose, let me show you again. So this is a tree. Now suppose at top I was here, but it needs to go here, then it's need to go there. But now these are not there. So again it will come here and it will go here now. And then it will come here, it will go then. So whenever we needs to work with a tree, it take the process or the algorithm which is recursion. Recursion is very useful for solving such type of thing. So that's why it handle the child component just by recursively. Key in list ensure accurate comparison. I will tell you about this. Suppose there is a dev tag and we needs to map the thing. Like this div tag will show again and again. Whenever we map, we use the map and we needs to show the particular div uh, at least 10 times. So that time we must need to give it as a key so that it can keep the track of every div. But if we will not give any key to it, it will like there will be the tan div, right? So it will think all div as a one element. Okay, and it will recreate each div again and again whenever we will make the changes. So just because of this, whenever we need to map out something or we are doing something, we are making our code in some way so that that particular UI will show again and again. So that time we should give a key to each div so that we can ensure that accurate comparison, or we can say we are providing the each node to the each tags. Like there is a tan dev tag, so we are giving a key to it so that React can understand that this is a another dev and this is the another dev and this is the another dev to all the tan devs. Now there are some practice question about the diffing. So what is diffing in React? A process to compare virtual DOM to apply minimal changes. How does it boost performance? Order of n complexity, shallow comparison, and efficient update. Now, what is key hoisting? So it make change either by the element by element or by using the key usage or by recursive check. Now, let's go on a summary. As right now I told you about the virtual DOM and some reconciliation, and then diffing algorithm was there. Actually, I did not cover here a shadow DOM and a virtual DOM, but we will try to think about it, or I will try to explain it on a separate video. But this is the summary. Like we understand about the virtual DOM and how it's help in efficiency, UI rendering, reconciliation process, ensure minimal update. Diffing algorithm is a core of React's speed in key list, play a crucial role in performance. So this is all about it. I hope you like it, whatever I shared. So thank you so much for listening it.